Hello and welcome to New Central Television. I am Lekon Onobanjo. The top stories at this hour. Military chiefs sound alarm on hunger, poverty and security threats. Police reaffirm commitment to neutrality in Nigeria's elections. Uganda's ruling party confirms President Museveni to seek re-election in 2026. Details to come your way shortly. We begin with breaking news where we understand that teachers from unity colleges across the country have barricaded the entrance to the Ministry of Finance headquarters in Abuja. They say despite repeated appeals, the ministry has refused to release 3 years' salary arrears owed them, an action that has brought untold hardship to them and their families. They are calling on the federal government to release their funds and pay them with what is rightfully theirs. And now our Abuja Bureau Chief, Amadou Uyi, who is at the scene in Abuja, joins us to give us the update. Amadou, good afternoon to you.
Lekon, good afternoon. Sorry, I have to raise the pitch of my voice because there's so much noise at the background.
Yeah, we understand.
You can see from the shot behind me, you see the gate has been barricaded. These are teachers belonging to federal unity colleges, also known as federal government colleges. They are protesting. They say they've been owed salary arrears for 3 years, and government has refused to pay. Now, let's speak to one of them, Duchess Daniel. Duchess, can you tell us what is the cause of the protest today?
All right. Good afternoon, sir. I want to really express displeasure today because as teachers employed over 3 years without pay, really disheartening. We have gone different routes to see that we get paid for what we've done that is due to us. And nothing is forthcoming. Now, it's out to so many agencies that involved, starting from the Federal Ministry of Education down to the Ministry of Finance. Just as we said earlier, we are here to demand for what is rightfully ours. It is so funny that the Naira is going down and we are not seeing it so far.
Now, Duchess, earlier on, some of you were talking about hardship. How difficult has it been to survive without these unpaid arrears?
Honestly, it has been very, very difficult. Looking at the economy today, nothing is right now. We are being given big talk.
We seem to have scrambled audio from our reporter's end, but then we'll try as much as possible to get more details from him and, of course, have it aired. But then we have these particular video excerpts, which helps us understand better what the grounds of the protest is. Let's take a listen.
We are asking that our arrears be paid now. We have been working for that long. Our own children cannot attend the same school where we teach. We are owing our landlords. We took loans to survive all these years. The loan is accumulating, interest is accumulating, and nobody seems to even have the milk of human kindness to think that these people need to survive.
Well, definitely it's a developing story. We will get much details as we can and bring it to you in our subsequent bulletins. But then we talk security now. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, says hunger and poverty remain major drivers of insecurity across Nigeria, challenges that demand urgent national attention. Speaking at the 14th National Security Seminar in Abuja on Monday through a representative, Rear Admiral Ibrahim Shatima of the Defense Headquarters, General Musa stressed the need for a united front in tackling these issues. He also urged the public to report any suspicious activities that could pose security risks. The seminar themed Combating Hunger and Poverty for Sustainable Peace and Development in Nigeria was organized by the Alumni Association of the National Defense College in collaboration with the Office of the National Security Advisor and the National Defense College. Also speaking at the event, the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, emphasized a shift toward human-centered security strategies. He noted that addressing core issues such as unemployment, poverty, and social inclusion is key to achieving long-term stability and development. Now, infamous bandit leader Wakilin Jambros and other bandits in Benin Gwari and Chukun local government areas of Kaduna State say that they are committed to having peace being maintained in the area following the surrender of their weapons to the Kaduna State government. This also followed a peace pact signed between the bandits and state government officials, which has entered its 6th month. In an investigative tour around crisis-prone areas of Kaduna State, the Central Television crew visited Benin Gwari and spoke with some of the repentant bandits who say that they will only keep to their part of the agreement as long as the government fulfills its own part. The Central's Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
Wakilin Jambros, a notorious bandit currently involved in the ongoing peace deal, recounted his days as a terrorist to News Central Television. Jambros and his cohorts say they were responsible for several attacks that sent many financial institutions relocating from Kaduna, Niger, Sokoto, Zamfara and Katsina State to safer areas of operations. Our investigation into the impact of the peace treaty between the Kaduna State government and the terrorists took us through these dangerous paths, bandits' enclaves and other areas where thousands of commuters and residents were killed and displaced. This is Labi village, where terrorists forcefully relocated residents into the forest for informing security operatives about their activities on the highways. Other villages like Sabon Udawa have its inhabitants still unable to return despite the peace deal between the state government and the bandits signed over 5 months ago. The leadership of the Mieta Allah Cattle Breeders Association gave an explanation on the current situation.
To da in an gaba fillatani a mota sauke shi ake ko mace ko namiji. Za a yi ta challenging ɗinka a kai ka a rufe a an shi maƙudai kuɗi hannunka har ma a kashe ka bayan ma an shi kuɗi hannunka a baya kenan, amma yanzu babu wannan.
Yanzu dai waccan hanyar da aka ƙi wadda dama mu muka ga ita ta cancanta a bita, to kuma yanzu ga ta gwamnati ya gane ita ce alheri kuma ta neme mu kuma muka nemi mutanen nan aka yi zama da su.
Residents who confirmed the peace deal say that the terrorists have laid down their arms for now and are now being reintegrated back to society.
To a yanzu za ka yi tafiya kamar na mil 5, mil 6 ka haɗe da su ku gaisa lami lafiya alhamdulillah.
Akwai ɗaya wanda bai wuce kaman wata 3 da suka wuce ba yayin aure a garin nan yana garin nan haka yanzu zaune.
To confirm this, New Central crew sought to meet with the repentant terrorist, but of course, with the help of Hambali Muhammad, the Sarkin Zangan Birnin Gwari, the leader of the cattle market.
Amma yanzu alhamdulillah ga munan da su cikin gasuri ranan da ba kasuwa ba ma su shigo kowa ya hudu da kuma alhamdulillah an samu canji a garin.
Wakilin Jambros is the assistant of Yellow Jambros, one of the most feared and dreaded bandits the Nigerian military claimed to have surrendered in 2024. The Jambros have over 1,000 terrorists under them, but are now in talks with government to end the bloodshed.
Inda so ya zama samu, amma ka san shi komai daga Ubangiji ne. Sai Ubangiji ya jarabce mu, in Allah ya sa muna da rabon cinye jarabawa sai mu cinye. Saboda ba abin da ke dorewa. Tunda Allah ya ce fa inna ma'al usri yusra, inna ma'al usri yusra. Ba abin da ya gagari Allah. Ai dama barin Allah mukai. Yanzu kuma da aka dawo ba a samu sauki ba. To ka gani da in an ce ka zo inda za ka gani za ka zo? Ni zan zo inda zan ganka? Kaga in ka ganni na zama abinci, in na ganka ka zama abinci.
While stakeholders have continued to criticize the amnesty given to these terrorists, the government claims it is a deal worth doing in the interest of peace.
You know, I remember that time Barrister Mark Jacob asked MB Tuku. They are both lawyers. They grew up together in Kafanja, in Zonkwa. He said, MB, is it my grandfather's land that you are after now? But the state is now using its own resources, you know, to enter into a kind of a deal with these criminals, to the extent that the state said it's going to use its own money to rehabilitate them. These are people that have coerced communities to cough out hundreds of millions. What are they doing with the money that they took from the people? Is that not enough to settle them?
Mana gayyatan duk waɗanda suke da wadata su zo binnin gwari don su zuba jari. Suna ma iya zuwa don su tabbatar da abin haka ne ko ba haka ba, su aiko ko su bi hanyoyin da ya kamata. Akwai jami'an tsaro za su iya samun labarai a wurinsu na yadda binnin gwari take yanzu, kuma na san kuma shaida ne tun daga shi kun zo kuma za ku koma insha Allah lahiya lau ba matsala.
The area actively involved in agriculture and food production is now recovering from the destruction of terrorism and banditry. However, commercial vehicle operators continue to insist that there is an existence of bad element despite the peace deal.
It's been 5 months since the signing of the peace deal between the Kaduna state government and the terrorists operating here in Tukun and Birnin-Gwari local government area of the state. It is expected that both sides will keep to their own side of the bargain and allow citizens to go back to their various means of livelihood, which is agriculture.
Now, the Kano State Police Command has rescued a young man in the state who had attempted suicide from being lynched by an angry mob. The young man had climbed to the top of a billboard in the Gadan-Lado area of the state, threatening to take his life if popular Kano celebrity and TikToker Abdul Diwan did not make himself available to see him. The situation got youths in the area angry and violently attempted to lynch him while he was being rescued by the police. Again, the Central's correspondent Emmanuel Bagudo has more in this report.
These angry-looking youths say they are digging a grave for this young man as a punishment for attempting to commit suicide. However, the police arrived in the nick of time to stop them. The young man, who allegedly came from Patiskum in neighboring Yobe State, climbed the billboard around 8 a.m. in the morning till he was brought down almost 7 hours later. He's grudged that popular Kano celebrity and TikToker Abdul, also known as D1, refused to see him, thus the decision to publicly take his own life. The police and other security agencies were forced to trace the so-called celebrity and negotiated a deal with the young man, which led to his rescue, though not without an incident.
Wani yaro ne yau da safe misalin karfe 8 ya zo ya wata advertise abu da ake sawa na talla a sama, wai yana neman wani Abdul Diwan ne ko DK, wai ya zo, in bai zo ba shi zai faɗo ya mutu.
Wallahi dai mu mun fito wurin aiki da sabai sai muka ga yaro a saman garan da ballon gadan Lado, sai nake tambaye sa me yake faruwa, sai yake ce mun ai ya zo gurin Abdul BK sace ɗaya na neman sa bai gan shi ba, saboda ka bai sauko ba sai Abdul BK nan ya zo.
A former local council chairman of Taroni local government area was on the scene of the incident. He expressed worry over the resort to mob action by youth, saying that current statistics are worrying.
Saboda dalili guda dai kawai shine an bar kasa sasaka ba doka ba tsaro, kuma an bar matasa ba abin yi. Dole wanda bai da abin yi zai tsaya ya samu kansa alternative mafita. Wannan gwamnati ya kamata ta dage ta samawa ta yi kyakkyawan tunani kan canza rayuwar matasa.
The injured police officer during the incident is currently receiving treatment, while the young man who had attempted suicide is currently in police custody. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
In the meantime, let's go on our short break, and when we return, we'll bring you more stories. Don't go away. Many thanks for being there. In a move to boost morale and professionalism within Edo's security framework, Governor Monday Okpowolo has approved the payment of monthly salaries to members of the Edo State Security Corps. He made this known at the passing out parade of the second batch of Edo State Security Corps personnel in Benin City. The Essentials correspondent, Israel Iferobo, has more.
The event, held at the police training school in Uganda, saw 507 newly trained officers graduate after weeks of intensive training by the Nigerian police force. This second batch brings the total number of ESSC operatives across the state to 1,979. The governor of Edo State, represented by the secretary to the Edo State government, Barrister Musa Kilo, said the training is part of effort to reorganize and restructure the Edo State Security Corps to address the lack of professionalism in the corps.
For the new intake, we want to encourage them to be very professional, to be very conscious of their duty to Edo State and Edo people. They have been retrained. They can see that they have now been brought in as staff of Edo State government. Before, most of them were not under any sort of payment. They were just volunteers. But now they are going to be receiving salaries, minimum wage and above, and they are also going to be covered by an insurance scheme.
The Edo State Commissioner of Police, Monday Agbonika, who was represented by the Commandant of the Police Training School, ACP Agahoa Aigbe, disclosed that the men have undergone rigorous training, including tactical, operational, and character-building components.
They were made to undergo rigorous training in physical and academic activities. They were exposed to various topics such as information, intelligence gathering, management, fundamental human rights, joint operation, practical rescue operation, practical combat maneuver, according to search and arrest.
Major General Victor Ebalame, retired, speaking on behalf of the committee overseeing the restructuring of the Corps, noted that the ESSC has evolved from what it was under the last administration.
The people of Edo State, they have high expectations for the passing out recruits in assisting to checkmate the myriads of criminal activities in the state. And we are confident that they will uphold the high values imparted to them during the training, thereby contributing to the enhancement of peace and security in the state.
With monthly salaries, healthcare access, and upgraded training, the Edo State government is signaling a renewed commitment to safety, professionalism, and community trust. In Edo State, for News Central, Israel Ifirobo.
We now tell you that the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has dismissed claims that security agencies are involved in rigging elections in Nigeria, calling such accusations both baseless and unfair. Speaking through the Commissioner of Police for the Federal Capital Territory, Adewale Ajao, at the 3rd National Democracy Stakeholders Summit held in Abuja, the police chief reaffirmed the neutrality of the force during electoral exercises. According to Egbetokun, the police have no hand in vote counting or electoral outcomes. His comments come as political tensions remain high following the 2023 general elections, during which both the ruling All Progressives Congress and opposition parties traded accusations of widespread irregularities and collusion among election stakeholders. Let's now tell you that the Borno State People's Democratic Party has affirmed that it is not part of any coalition or merger initiative with any other political party ahead of the 2027 general elections. This formed part of resolutions at its executive meeting in Maiduguri, where state and local government leaders gathered to discuss strategies for moving forward. News Central's Omari Kurawa completes the report.
A gathering of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Nigeria's northeast state of Borno ahead of 2027 general election. The State Working Committee, State Executive Committee of the party, and local government executive members converged to chart a way forward.
The party is not in coalition with anybody. You understand? The PDP is the largest party in West Africa and the largest opposition party so far in Nigeria. How do you expect PDP that has presence in every nooks and crannies of this country to abandon its structure and start building a new one? I don't think it's going to be fair to itself. Or what do you think? I don't think the PDP will be fair to itself to say they will abandon their structure and start moving to an unrealistic coalition.
The state ESCO of the PDP passed a vote of confidence on the state chairman, Zanna Gaddama, and the state working committee.
In Borno, PDP is intact from the wards, local government, and the state. The only problem we have is a minor problem at the national level. And for those that are going, they are going as individuals, but they are not going with the structure of PDP. In even the states where the governors have left, they left the structure of PDP intact in those states. And some of their commissioners have resigned from the cabinet and they are now building the PDP. And by next election, you are going to see the result.
Our strategies for 2027 are with us. We are not going to talk about it so that maybe our opponents would have an idea of what we are doing. But I believe you, 2027, like my leaders have said it earlier on, the PDP is going to reclaim the leadership of this country and the state at large.
The PDP in Borno State vowed to remain an all-inclusive and united front that will continue to work in the interests of the party, emphasizing on youth engagement in elective positions alongside women participation in the electoral process. The state PDP reiterated the unity within its fold, saying any act of mischief will be met with legal actions. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Relatedly, in what is being described as a major political statement ahead of the 2027 general elections, Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpowolo says the state will deliver 2.5 million votes for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The government made the declaration in a town hall event in Ra, Eshan Central Local Government Area. Meanwhile, the Edo State Caretaker Committee of the People's Democratic Party has sharply criticized Governor Okpowolo's claim that the state will deliver 2.5 million votes for President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 general presidential elections. In a statement released on Monday, the committee's publicity secretary, Chris Nehihare, described the governor's remarks as absurd and comical, saying they amount to an insult to the intelligence of the Edo people. Nehihare accused Governor Monday Okpowolo of engaging in what he called political sycophancy, claiming the governor was merely trying to curry favor with political figures in Abuja. As the political rhetoric intensifies in Edo State, observers say the road to 2027 is already showing signs of fierce partisan battles ahead. Now, President Bola Tinubu has commissioned the newly constructed A2PAR road located at the Kwale Area Council of Abuja. The road is one of several newly constructed roads by the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike and will boost connectivity to the city center and also reduce insecurity in the area. Our correspondent, Betty Nanrili, tells us more.
The 15-kilometer road recently constructed by the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, links the Abuja-Lokoja Expressway to the Pay community and forms an integral part of the FCTA's infrastructure drive under the Renewed Hope agenda.
The time has come to Kwale, a rural area, Abuja to commission the 15-kilometer A2 to Pai Town Road. But the road, the infrastructural development to the benefit of our people.
Your Excellency, we are very happy. So we have done, if you calculate all, and the ongoing roads, and the ones completed within the satellite towns, you've done not less than 150 kilometers of roads.
The newly commissioned A2 to Pay Road promises to enhance connectivity, bolster local economies, and improve security within the area. The new road also boasts of modern street lighting, a development that indigents of the community have applauded loudly.
Sometimes for us to get something outside is very difficult, and people that is coming here, when they look at the environment, they cannot live here, because before you get what to eat, you have to pay extra 2,000 naira. In this economic we are now, to pay the transport fare is not just easy. So we thank Minister Barrister Wike.
Before we are not happy because we don't have road, even solar we don't have, but now our village is shining and we are happy.
Actually, for several years we have been complaining, and we thank God because the present administration have deemed it fit to come and do the needful in our community.
The FCT minister says that the road will also support farmers to transport their farm produce to the city center, helping tackle food insecurity and reducing the cost of foodstuff. In Abuja, for News Central, I am Bettina Nwili.
Away from that, the patrilineal focus of most African culture confers more significance on the boy child. This often leads to undue attention and expectations, most times resulting in disappointments and failures in future. In this special report, News Central's Chumogele takes a look at the challenges of the boy child and impact of societal influence on him.
Like the girl child, the boy has dreams, hopes, and turns to the family for guidance and direction. The failure of the family and society to offer proper tutelage about life results to insecurity and sometimes withdrawal from nearly everyone and everything.
We must address the root causes of these challenges through education, family support, skill acquisition, and structured mentorship.
In the 2025 International Day of the Boy Child held recently in Umuahia, Abia State capital, emphasis was on the theme, building self-esteem, stand up, be heard, be seen, as a way of encouraging the boy child to be outspoken and not feel inferior.
It is an opportunity for us to reflect on how we can better serve our young boys, provide them with positive role models, and create an environment where they can boldly stand up for their rights.
The family upbringing is believed to influence the child's childhood as well as adulthood.
My son in his whole life will never raise his hand to beat any female. So we want to raise a generation that will also turn out generations of perfect males.
I want to focus squarely on them. Give them the basic necessities which they need to succeed in life. In addition, you also have to, as you are giving them money, pampering them, you also tell them this is the way to get this. This is how to survive in life.
The boy himself has struggles which he does not share with anyone because he must not show emotions as a male child.
I'm being told because my parents, they lecture me on things about growing up as a boy. Because as a boy, they feel that you're going to be the head one day. You have your family, the family of your own. So you have to be upright.
So my own parents, we are 4 boys and we are 2 girls. They treat us the same way. I cook, my sister cook. Everybody will do the same thing.
The society will surely be better for it if as much emphasis is given to the raising of the boy child as much as the girl child. They need to be taught that there is much more to being a man aside from making money. In Umuahia for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
Wages now, the National Productivity Center has called for a fair wage system where staff in both the public and private sectors are compensated based on their productivity. This was made known during an awareness walk within the capital. where they say peak levels of productivity can boost national, including infrastructural development. So News Central's correspondent Amadine Uyi compiled this report.
Staff of the National Productivity Center are taking a walk across major streets in the city center to mark the National Productivity Day. They say that while the center has led a campaign for improved productivity in both the public and private sectors, it will not relent in ensuring that citizens attain the peak level of productivity needed to achieve wide-scale development.
We will continue to advise them to really imbibe productive culture so that our country will be able to attain that productive level we desire.
Some doing the work also called for the establishment of a fair wage system across the country. They also emphasized on the need for citizens to imbibe productivity as a core tenet in both public and private sectors, including family life.
What we need to do as a country is some of the issues that we are beginning to tackle at the National Productivity Center. For instance, we are beginning to look at linking your wages to your levels of productivity. At the National Productivity Center, we are beginning to develop frameworks for measurement of productivity in the public sector.
We intend to create awareness to make sure that productivity becomes household name. If I do what I am doing better, you do what you are doing better, the next person does what he can do better, collectively we will achieve the most needed improvement and national development across the country.
They add that productivity can be linked to national development, thus the need for citizens in the public sector to take conversations bordering on productivity seriously. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Now, we understand that at least 4 people have reportedly lost their lives in a road accident that occurred in Ibadan, Oyo State, in the early hours of Tuesday. The incident occurred around the Soka area at the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. It was learned that the accident involved 3 taxis and 3 articulated vehicles. It was also reported that all the ill-fated vehicles were coming from the Iwo Road axis before getting involved in the accident. As of press time, mutilated bodies of the victims were still being pulled out of the wreckage. Coming up on the news, despite party nomination, President Ouattara silent on re-election plans. We'll bring you more details on this and other stories in a short while. Do join us again. In other parts of Africa, Cote d'Ivoire President Alassane Ouattara is leaving his supporters in suspense over whether he will seek a 4th term in the upcoming presidential election. While officially nominated by his party, the president is yet to confirm his candidacy. Speaking to a packed stadium of supporters in Abidjan on Monday, Ouattara told the crowd he would make his decision in the coming days, following careful thought and reflection. As election day approaches on October 25, the nation waits for Ouattara's final announcement, which will determine the next chapter in the country's political future.
Je veux donc vous dire aujourd'hui ceci. Je veux vous dire ceci. Je vous ai entendu. Je vous ai compris. Je vous remercie de votre confiance. Je prendrai dans les jours qui viennent, après mûre réflexion, à mon âme et conscience, une décision. Vous m'avez dit, Président, encore une fois. Oui, vous m'avez dit, Président, ne nous abandonnez pas. Après tant de batailles menées ensemble, je ressens la force et la sincérité de votre appel. Ces appels, je ne peux pas les ignorer. Je ne peux pas les ignorer, je les ai bien entendus. Et je dis avec émotion, oui, je vous ai entendu. Je suis fier d'être...
Relatedly, Uganda's ruling party, the National Resistance Movement, announced on Tuesday that President Yoweri Museveni will seek re-election in the country's general polls expected early next year. In a statement posted on its official website, the party said Museveni seeks to retain the position of NRM chairman and party presidential flag bearer in the 2026 elections. The announcement comes amid growing concerns over a harsh crackdown on the opposition. Leading figures, including activists and politicians, have reportedly been abducted, detained and intimidated in the run-up to the vote. Museveni, once praised for championing good governance, has come under increasing criticism over eroding democratic freedoms and changing the constitution to remove presidential age and term limits. His decision sets the stage for another electoral showdown with one of his fiercest rivals, musician turned politician Bobi Wine, who has also declared his intention to contest the presidency in 2026. From other continents, following a U.S. brokered ceasefire announcement, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz declared that Iran had breached the truce by launching missiles towards Israel. In response, Katz ordered the Israeli military to carry out strong retaliatory strikes targeting regime sites in Tehran. The ceasefire proposed by U.S. President Donald Trump was reportedly accepted by Israel, while Iran has not formally agreed to it. Despite the ceasefire's commencement, missile sirens sounded in Israel as Iranian attacks persisted, resulting in casualties. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu affirmed Israel's commitment to the ceasefire, but warned of forceful responses to any violation.
בהמשך להנחיית הדרג המדיני, הפסקת האש נכנסה הבוקר לתוקפה. הבוקר ניתן לומר, צה"ל עמד בצורה מלאה בכל היעדים שהוגדרו במבצע עם כלבי. הרמטכ"ל הנחה את צה"ל לשמר רמת דריכות גבוהה ומוכנות לתגובה עוצמתית על כל הפרה של הפסקת האש. גם ברגעים אלו חיל האוויר משמר כוננות אווירית להסרת איומים ולפעולות התקפיות מהירות. לפני כניסת הפסקת האש לתוקף, הבוקר נורו כ-20 טילים מאיראן לאזורים שונים ברחבי הארץ. רובם יורטו. אני מדגיש, בשלב זה אין שינוי בהנחיות פיקוד העורף. יש להמשיך ולהישמע להנחיות. יש עדיין סיכון. צה"ל כולו, בפיקודים ובזרועות, ימשיכו לשמור על רמת מוכנות וכוננות גבוהה.
Let's tell you that tensions escalated at the Thailand-Cambodia border on Tuesday as dozens of tourists and Cambodian workers were stranded following a military-enforced closure. The Thai army halted nearly all cross-border traffic at Bang Klok Liu checkpoint in Sangkyo province, the mainland route to Cambodia's Siem Reap. The closure, sparked by a renewed territorial dispute that turned violent last month, affects all 7 Thai border provinces. Only students and those requiring medical attention are permitted to cross. Among those stuck were around 50 Cambodian vendors who regularly travel to Thailand for work. Confusion and frustration grew as no clear explanations were provided. Riot police secured the area as people were turned back at the sealed border crossing.
มาก็แบบเพี้ยนเนี่ยครับ แต่ว่าตอนเช้ามาไม่ค่อยมีคนแต่คนจะมาเพิ่มเรื่อยๆครับเขาแค่บอกว่าเขาจะปิดด่านเขาไม่ให้ออกอย่างนี้เขาต้องรู้ฟังบนฟังการมาก่อนอย่างเนี้ย
I just got the news from this morning that the border is closed, so now I have to go back to Bangkok and find another way to reach my destination. So probably it will be by plane because it's still open, but that's quite more expensive.
Looking at sports now, world record holder Tobias Mushon headlines the women's 100-meter hurdles lineup at the 64th Golden Spike meet today in Ostrava, Czechia. Fresh from a season best of 12.24 seconds at the Paris Diamond League, the Nigerian sprinter faces rivals Alicia Johnson from USA, Elena Carraro from Italy, Sarah Levine from Ireland, Anna Toth from Hungary, and Slovakia's Victoria Forster. Amushon aims to improve her form ahead of major championships, with her personal best remaining the world record 12.12 seconds set in 2022. Jamaican sprint legend Shirley Ann Fraser-Price has confirmed that this week's national championships in Kingston will mark her final appearance at the National Stadium, as she plans to retire at the end of the 2025 season. The five-time 100-meter world champion and two-time Olympic gold medalist has had a storied career since her international debut in 2007. The 37-year-old was honored at a Nike-hosted event celebrating her legacy and announced a new initiative with the brand to end barefoot running among Jamaican primary school athletes. The Jamaican icon is expected to conclude her competitive career later this year, leaving behind a remarkable legacy of sporting excellence, advocacy, and national pride. Nigeria's Quadriaronal will headline the 2025 WTT contender Lagos from July 22 to 26, marking a much-anticipated return after missing the 2024 edition due to club duties. The event, hosted at the Teslim Balogun Stadium, features a world-class lineup including Denmark's Anders Lind, Japan's Yuta Tanaka, and Croatia's Tomislav Puka in the men's draw. And that's all at this hour, but then let's look at our major stories before we go. Military chiefs sound alarm on hunger, poverty as security threats. Police reaffirm commitments to neutrality in Nigeria's elections. We also reported that Uganda's ruling party has confirmed President Museveni will seek re-election in 2026. Don't forget to send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen, and you can also follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. Don't forget to watch us live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekon Onabanjo.